So, welcome to another INFJ ramble. Really quick, hopefully. We'll see. um, just a reminder that nothing is personal. Anything anyone does is not personal. And if you think about it, if you stop caring about what people think about you, it doesn't affect you because you don't give it power to affect you. And also, you're not allowing yourself to be stuck in this mental mind loop where you're looping a situation over and over. Like if you don't take it personally, you can see it, acknowledge it, move through it, move on, you know? But people have a tendency to allow their mind to like kind of hone in on things and then just kind of recycle them over and over again. This causes a lot of like stress and worry and brings up a lot of insecurities, which isn't bad. I mean, you want these things to come to the surface so you can heal them and release them, you know? You don't want to suppress them or keep them on the back burner and pretend they're not there because they're there and they're waiting for you to look at them and heal them and release them or integrate them, however you want to word it, you know? I think, like, for me, the priority is always peace. Like, if I feel tension in any moment, I kind of remind myself to be present and to not take it personally. It's not personal. Anything anyone does is to you or what is perceived to be done to you is not personal. It's actually a I I've kind of reprogrammed my mind to see it as a reference point to see where they're at so that I can understand them and I can be compassionate and I can be understanding and non-reactive and not allow anyone to thief on my peace because you give people the power to take away your peace or you don't give them the power. And it's always like anytime you interact with anyone, it's almost like an invitation to play. You know how it takes two people to tango? Well, it takes another player to play a game. So you need at least two players to play the game, right? But if you don't accept the invitation or you don't accept the challenge, then there's no game to participate in, you know? And yeah, I noticed like I'm getting older and I have to conserve my energy for things that are worthwhile. And to me, like participating in other people's drama or dysfunction or worry or tension or fear, it's just not worth the energy for me anymore. I'd rather spend my energy focusing on healing and alignment, grounding, balance, and it's a choice. It's a choice in every moment. So whenever you come across people, and you know what, it's not bad. If you're dysfunctional, it's not bad. You know, it's just kind of like letting you know that there's something off kilter and you need to bring it back into balance. That's all it is. Um, I've noticed, like for me, I feel like in all of my interactions, I try to be as genuine and sincere and authentic as possible. I like to think that I function from a place of integrity in everything I do. Like the last thing I want to do is, you know, hurt anyone. You know, like I've experienced a lot of hurt for most of my life, and I know how that feels. And I wouldn't want to bestow that upon someone else. So when I do encounter people, I try to understand where they're at so that I can adjust myself or retract myself or whatever is needed in the moment to kind of like reharmonize the situation. But I notice like some people don't want to heal or they're not ready to heal or they don't want to change or they're not ready to change. And so if you provide information to them. And by the way, information is energy. That's all it is. It's transference of energy, a taking of energy, combining of energy, dismantling of energy. But if somebody is not in your life is not ready to grow and you distribute information to them prematurely, they will probably attack you because you're going to like basically make them look at aspects of themselves that they're ashamed of or afraid of, and to as a self-preservation mechanism they're going to um, project the pain upon you and use you as the scapegoat or as an excuse for their pain, when in actuality it's their own pain that they don't want to contend with. So they're going to externalize it and put the blame on someone else instead of taking responsibility and accountability for their own stuff. So that's why it's not personal, when somebody is attacking you. And that's why I think there's a quote about, like, hurt people need the most love. And it's true. But I think there's different ways of deciphering it. Like, hurt people need the most love doesn't mean like you go in there and you freaking like, overwhelm them and suffocate them with compassion and care and love. No, you kind of like, depending on their needs and what they need in the moment, sometimes that means like loving them from a distance, you know? Sometimes that means it just depends. I mean, if you are really, really listening and really in tune with what's going on, you'll know what is necessary in the moment. Either, this person needs you to, give them some type of support, or maybe you need to retract yourself and just, be understanding and kind and non-reactive. Because anytime people are hurting, like I said in my previous video, if you haven't built up like an immunity to it, you're gonna contract that energetic information. You know what I mean? Kind of like a cold or a yawn. We have a tendency to catch each other's stuff. Unless your immune system is high and healthy, and then you can walk through it without being affected. That's basically it. You have to build up like your spiritual immunity, you know. Um, yeah, so hurt people, they have a tendency to hurt other people. I made a video on this. I believe this to be true 1000%. Because if you weren't feeling hurt and you actually put in the work to rebalance, realign, and heal yourself, then you wouldn't put out that frequency. You know what I mean? You'd be putting out a higher frequency. And sometimes I think that's why, like, sometimes low vibrational people cannot handle being around high vibrational people because um, because of the gap, and also because um, like I think high vibrational people feel acidic to low vibrational people. Do you get it? Because they can't, like, they haven't gotten to a place where they have owned up to their own shit and healed it and realigned it. They're reminded of something that they want to attain but haven't quite gotten to yet, and it's almost like sandpaper on their soul. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making sense. Um, yeah, like when you encounter people who are super duper unhappy, and it's like they can't stand hearing you laugh or hearing you talk or whatever, it's probably because of the gap in frequency, and it's just highly annoying to them because, like I said, they're in a really low vibrational state. And so, because of that huge difference, it creates some type of conflict within them and they can't stand it, They're in so much pain already and they don't want to feel any more pain, or they don't want to own up to their shit, because high vibrational beings do that to low vibrational beings. And that's why they're so like, they try to like avoid us like the plague, or they attack us. I noticed like for most of my life, like I've always had the best intentions for people. I've always wanted to see people do their best and become their best. And most of my life I've been attacked. Like the people become defensive, or They make me out to be the enemy, and the last thing I want to do is be anyone's enemy, you know? But if, whatever, tomato, tomato, everyone's totally, totally, um, what is the word? Jesus. Everyone is totally entitled to have their own experience, their own opinion, their own perception, their own journey, and it's okay. And it's funny because I know when I was younger, I would take it personally. I would be reactive. Like if somebody was mean to me or rude to me, I would be reactive because I guess of my perception and my expectations. And I was like, that's so rude. They shouldn't have treated me like that or treated that person like that. But in actuality, it's not personal. It's actually a reference point to see where that individual is at. And usually the individual inflicts harm. I think it's for a couple of reasons. The first reason is because they're hurting, so they're inflicting harm upon others. The second reason is maybe they're a teacher, to or a reference point to show you where you're at and what you still need to work on. Because if you're being triggered, that means you're letting them infect you. But if you're not being triggered, then you can say, oh, okay, I guess I've grown because I can walk through this graciously. I can see this person is in pain, and I'm just going to like love on them regardless, and I'm okay, you know. I was having a conversation with one of my coworkers, and she was saying how she can't stand people talking behind her back. And I told her, dude, no matter where you go, no matter where you are, you're gonna have people who talk about you. And I told her, to be honest, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter unless you allow it to matter, because everyone is entitled to feel and think and perceive the reality however they want to, and you have no control over that. So you can either take it personally, hold a grudge, get resentful, create a blockage in your system, or you can just be like, hey, man, you know, I respect you. If that's how you feel, if that's how you think, then you're totally entitled, like, and I'm okay with that. And then move on, instead of getting stuck in it, like gossip and drama and all that stuff. Yeah, you could totally get stuck in it. You could totally agree to play the game, or you can actually retract yourself and go, you know what? I'm good. You know, you can think and be and feel however you want to be, and that's okay. I just don't want to participate in this drama because I have better things to do with my life, like be happy and practice patience and peace and calmness and self mastery. You know, that's what I'm working towards, like now that I'm in this phase of my life. And whenever I come across dramatic people, it's not that I try to push them away, but I definitely don't allow them to affect me, and I limit my time with them. And that's my choice, and that's their choice to be how they want to be. And it's also my choice to participate or not participate. And in most cases, I just don't participate, because like I said, it's all about energy management. You have so much energy, so much time, and what are you going to do with it? You know, are you going to allow people to bring you down, or are you going to elevate yourself? Anyhow, this is going on long, but if you learned something, great. If you didn't, that's great too. Have a beautiful evening. Thank you for watching, and blessings to one and all. Amen.